Welcome to The Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and The Daily Dish.
Are you ready for it? Hey everyone, welcome. Motivational Monday, after all. Hello, Helen and Kathy and Amber. Good to see you. And you know our Amber and our Jenny are on the other side. Flynn's ready to do this. Go for it, Flynn. And there's their hashtag HotMelt30. We're on day what? What day are we on? 14. Good grief, 2 weeks in. Isn't that so much fun? Hi, Jocelyn. I'm glad you're here. And Shauna's in the house as well. Fabulous. There's Catherine. I knew I was just waiting for it, Catherine. Margot's here. Doris is here. I just signed your journal, Margot. I saw your order this morning and I just said, there's my girl, Margot. Good to see you. Martha, hello. How are things going in Whittier, California, my hometown? Lily's here. I heard you got some heat in Colorado. How about that? Hey, yeah, there, Laura. Good to see you. We have so much going on today. So this week, y'all, is all about high vibes. We're going to be talking about high vibes, about low vibe, high vibe. And let me just reassure you, I'm not taking you down the mucky muck, woo-woo, weirdo lane. I'm not going there. But what I am going to do is share with you some really cool things that I think are going to be interesting concepts for you. I have a couple of videos that I think you should watch. In tomorrow's newsletter, by the way, you're going to get this graphic that I'm going to show you today. But this stuff is mind-blowing. Really cool stuff. There's Anna and Jane and Darla and Tracy and Carla and Leisha and Mary. Oh my, Jackie's in the house as well. I am so glad you're here. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time with this. I think you're really gonna like this. So, quote of the week, of course, is new. We introduced this on Saturday. We first make our habits, and then our habits make us. Anyone want to throw in a duh? Right? We know this. We know this so much, especially when we keep flipping and flopping and failing and having success and then not. You know, right now, I know my daughter is pretty disappointed because I just had to tell her that the house that she was madly in love with has just went under contract. So, but you never know. You never know. Things could all work out. Am I right? Hi, Joanne, Diane, Carol. Good to see you. Good to see you. Laura said she needs that, having a hard time getting up and getting going. So many changes in the last month, all good, but overwhelming. And you know, change is overwhelming. We like things the same, don't we? It's just a little bit easier when it stays the same. Then we don't have to think so hard. And that's part of it. Diane says, hot melt, she hashtag 30, hot melt 30. Then she said, high vibes are so important. They really are. And I can't wait to unleash some of this stuff. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Now, we have people playing full out in the Hot Melt Sprint group, doing their hashtags with the Hot Melt 30 and showing up and just really playing on. If you're a part of this, can I ask you to step up and get a photo in there and just tell everybody how you're doing? You know, it's not perfect, right? I'm not expecting you to be perfect for 30 days. What I am expecting you to do is show up and be excellent, you know, because that makes us feel good about it. That's a high vibe thing, by the way, being excellent. Am I right? Leisha's here. Leisha, and who else do I see? I see Marguerite. I see June. It's all good in the hood. We're all here. Isn't that fun? So we also have today, I wanted to mention, we have a new supplement of the week. And I'm going to ask you to really take advantage of this, because if there's anything that I know, it's this, that when we're missing core nutrients, we're feeling pretty poor. Did you like the way I rhymed that? I pretty much did. Right? We miss the core, we're going to feel poor. That's just the way it is. B complex, you know what that does? That helps to buffer all the stress that we're under. And we're all under stress. I don't care. You can tell me, oh, I don't have any stress in my life. I don't believe you. We all do. You can't escape it. Even just going outside and taking a breath, you're going to be throttled by some kind of pollutant, even in the cleanest of places. You still, yes, Margot, of course, it's still time to get into hot milk. 2 weeks is better than no weeks, right? Go grab it. It's savingdinner.com/30. Did you like that? 2 weeks is better than no weeks. Go do it. And you know what? You'll love it as well, by the way, Margot. It's so much fun. Who's missing the hair? Oh, and then Tracy said, and here I am with my hair down today, right? She said she's choosing me off. I laughed so hard. She's choosing me off and she's doing a ponytail. And then Jane came along and she did her little pony. I'm telling you, hair games, we don't mess around in that group. Yeah, we do. And it's fun. So anyway, I'm just asking you to step up and be a part of. And if you're not in it now, be a part of it now, right? 2 weeks is better than no weeks. And we will be doing this again. And I'm telling you, this program will change your life because we use tools with it, okay? We use tools with it. Yes, I will tell you about the show supplement here in just a week, but I'm going to tell you about the tools first because tools make the difference. I was telling I signed Margot's journal. I've signed a lot of journals, hundreds of journals, all to you. And the reason why is because this is how we make our goals and we make them into affirmations. We do it 12 weeks at a time. We write them out daily. And I'm telling you, you change your mind with this. This is high vibe stuff. You can find this at savingdinner.com/journal. This is your Take Back Your Life journal. Yes, we still have them. You start at any time. There's no like, oh, you got to start by June 1st or whatever. It's just, you just start it. Hi, Lindsay. I'm glad you're here. Gloria, thank you. I will take that. I'm glad you like my hair. There's Jane. There's Jane with her hairdo. Angie's here. Lindsay, Vanessa, and Gloria said it is the best journal. And she's right, because it puts some teeth, puts teeth on our goals, and it makes it something that we can do. Okay, so there's that. savingdinner.com/journal. And then there's the quote decks. Who here has tried playing quote deck roulette? So here's what I did. I got mine. I did 3 cards, and I've been doing them just to kind of keep refreshing my mind. We refresh our browsers or all of that. Same kind of a deal. Helps to refresh what we're thinking about. And when I tell you my story about what happened this weekend, oh, you're going to say, Leanne, you need to be doing this more often. Treat your body like it belongs to someone you love. Boom. Hannah Corbin said that. And I said, Hannah, you know me. You get this. I need to do that. That's at savingdinner.com/quote. Now, quote deck roulette, just take out the cards, 3 random cards, and read them and see how they land. Chances are one of those is going to just nail you right where you need it. Hi, Nancy. I haven't seen you so long. And look at Jane. She's got a toolbox so full it won't latch. I love that. I'll send you some tape next time, duct tape next time you order. Patsy's in the house. She's going to show me her ponytail later, aren't you, Patsy? I want to see it. So those are those 2 things. And then the last one, of course, is our little mindful mug. And the mindful mug just helps us to stay mindful, because that's the connection to everything. savingdinner.com/mug, or you can just go to savingdinner.com/tools to see all 3 of them. I harp on them simply because they are such a game changer. That's all. I have seen it. I've done it. I witnessed everything that you've said. And the things and the testimonials that we've gotten are just incredible. So I just tell you about that, and make sure you hand wash your mug, right? We found out the hard way on that one. Also, Saving Dinner with the Body. We have the Wise Women's Core 4, and they are on special this week. If you buy 3, we are going to send you a 4th set for free. Did you hear what I said? A 4th set free. This will keep you going for 4 months. That's a screaming deal. Not only when you buy all 4, not only do we discount them then, but now we're going to give you a 4th set absolutely free. I want you to take advantage of this. And I also want you to be not freaked out if you start feeling weird about taking the B complex. That's just the niacin doing its thing. I get flushes. I get it so bad, sometimes I get little bumples, and then they just go away. It's the niacin making everything dilate. And for some of us, we feel it a little bit more than others. I'm one of those too. So I'm just letting you know, this is the time to get it though. savingdinner.com/show. Take advantage of this. This is a screaming deal, especially if you're giving them to other people in your house. Our gala is on July 13th and 14th. Do you have it on your calendar? Make sure you do, because you won't want to miss it. We're going to be dressing at night and fooling around during the day. We're going to be crowdcasting it too. We asked about that because if we crowdcast, we don't have Big Brother watching us, shall we say. We can play music, we can have a meditation, all kinds of stuff that we can do. And nobody's watching, It's private. What do you say? Watch for that. It'll be in your email. Also, savingdinner.com/bloom. Let me know if you're coming. We are so darned excited for this year's Full Bloom right here in Brevard. You're going to fly into Asheville. It's going to be the coolest thing. Just nailed down our videographer today. And we're also going to be July 13th is your birthday, Joanne. Who's going to remember that? I am. We are. We're going to be celebrating our Joanne. That's so fun. Yes, everybody's got it on the calendar. There's our girl Debbie coming in. So all of this that we're talking about right now is just one event after the other that we have. We do this because I believe with all of my heart, when we're connected and when we're not isolating and we're not staying over here, trying to figure everything out, and we kind of come in together and say, hey, I need a little help or whatever. Marguerite's birthday too. Yay. How fun. We got 2 birthdays on the calendar. Yes, there's going to be a virtual event for those who can't be in person. That's why I was talking to the video guy. It's going to be super cool. But if you want to be the first to get we will have discount tickets. Okay. Early bird tickets go on sale this Friday. This is the lowest price you'll get virtually and also in person. It's the lowest price you get. I suggest strongly that you get them now because the price will continue to go up. All right. This is because we have to nail everything down, We might just have another one, Jane. You just don't know. That's how we work. That's how we roll. So we have all of that. And don't forget, always Q&A on Fridays. You know how to do it, right? Support at savingdinner.com. Question for Leanne on Friday. Look at Tracy said she's going to be there. She got a cabin. So she's going to be releasing her room. The Sunset Motel is cute as a Dickens, right here in town in Brevard. Remember, you fly into Asheville, 17 miles south. And not far from here, probably a good 20 minutes. But let me tell you, darling, very retro. You feel like you walked onto the Get Smart set, 99's apartment. Really. And it's adorable. It's clean and it's cheap. And it really is a great deal. And people are lovely. So that's what we have for Full Bloom. There will, call them up and say, hey, I hear you've got a room being released. Smart, right? All right. So let's get busy with this topic because we're talking vibe all week. How does it apply to these different things? And today, because today is Motivational Monday, we're going to be talking about it from the perspective of how it motivates us and how it causes our mindset really simply to change. And again, this isn't woo-woo. This isn't like, okay, Leanne, starting to go into like la-la land here. It's not any of that. This is actual science because it's measurable. They can actually measure vibrations. It's called what is it? Oh, I wrote it down. It's called, they measure it with an accelerometer. They can actually measure it. And what they're measuring is how far it goes and how fast it goes. And everything has a vibration to it. Whether you're talking about my desk, your phone, a rock, your dog versus, your husband, everything has some kind of a vibration, low to high. And we'll explain what all of that is and how it's so different. I've also shared with you a couple of times, and, Jenny's put out the videos for us. We have YouTube videos for you to see. And talking about how vibration changes and how vibration has patterns. To show that, they put sand on this vibrational plate, And as they turn it on, it starts to make this very lovely little pattern. And the higher the vibration goes, the more intricate the pattern. And the interesting thing about that is that there is semblance and order and beauty to this whole thing. It's not just like it goes, wow, 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 and then flies off the side, and it's just done. It actually makes these incredible, intricate patterns. The higher the vibe, the more beautiful the pattern. And there you go. There it is. The sand vibration demo right there. Yeah, go check it out. And just when you're watching that, I just want you to remember and always be thinking, this is how I look at this too. It's just like, God is so incredible. He is in the details. He does orchestrate things absolutely magnificently and beautifully. Hence why I always come back to that whole Bible verse that says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Talk about high vibe, right? Unbelievable. And such a great appreciation. I want you to have that appreciation when you go and watch that video, and just be in awe of how God lines things up in the universe. It's just incredible. And it's science, and where do you think we got science from in the first place? So the higher the vibe, right, the more tuned in you are, more tapped in, the more turned on you are to what's going on around you. Have you noticed how that is? Have you seen it sometimes? And I'll just give you an example. This is, 100% my thing. How I could easily miss something unless it was in the forefront of my mind, prefrontal cortex. That's where we do all the big thinking, right? But when you are in doing something mindfully every single day, like one of my goals is a relationship goal, and making sure that I am connecting with my children, with my Mark. I didn't even know what I was going to call him, but with Mark, and with the people around me, making sure everybody feels heard, and that there's a little bit of a touch. You hear what I'm saying? So all of that leads to a higher vibe, because in order to be doing this, you need to be more in tune to the person that you're thinking about, not just, in other words, giving eye contact and being in touch and asking, well, how do you feel? And look and noticing things. Noticing is a big deal. Noticing is my big word. And as a matter of fact, I call this the art and craft of noticing, because there is an art to it. There is an art form to it. When we start to notice, we start to see things, then we're starting to really figure out and love on a deeper level. We're starting to notice and see things, not just on the base level, not just on the surface, but deep, a little more deeper, Of course, we can make mistakes and say, oh, well, I thought I saw this, and maybe you didn't. We're fallible humans, right? We don't call it 100% all the time. We'd like to think we do, but we don't. That's just how it is. But what I'm talking about is in trying this out. Please try this out and see how you do. Hi, Rebecca, and happy birthday. I'm glad you're here. Pamela's here as well. So I'm just saying, acknowledging that they came in. But one of the things that we can do, like this art and craft of noticing, which I believe brings us to a higher vibe, is go experience a sunset. Don't just say, oh, look, a pretty sunset. Yay, here's to the sunset, sip of wine, whatever. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but experience it. Don't just notice that the sun is going down, but experience it. And watch what happens. Watch how nature kind of shifts, especially if you're on the West Coast and you get to watch the sun go down behind the ocean, which is really kind of cool. There's this flash of light that happens, and the wind just kind of goes a little different. The energy shifts when the sun sets. It's incredible when that happens. Darla said intentional relationships. Yeah, intentional relationships is exactly what it is. And when we are intentional, we're noticing things that we wouldn't notice otherwise. When we're experiencing a sunset with the art and craft of noticing, it brings a deeper level to it, doesn't it? Have you noticed how that feels? It feels completely different. We experience it, and we connect then on a new level. We abandon fear in favor of being vulnerable because that leads to a deeper level of a relationship, a deeper level of understanding, kinder, deeper, generous, empathetic, love, seeing something from someone else's perspective without having to be right. Yeah, that's a biggie. That's a big lesson. And I'm going to share that with you in a minute. And it helps us to let that vulnerability steer the ship instead of our fear. And even if we do get hurt again, we understand, you know what? Hurt means we're still alive. And yeah, we don't dismiss it and whatever. But honestly, without that, if we don't take that kind of risk to be vulnerable and to be loving, we find ourselves in a little teeny corner, in a little tiny box, not feeling really great, not loving anything or anyone, and just wrapped up in, numbing ourselves with food, booze, and TV. It doesn't work. When we do this art and craft of noticing, which brings us into a higher vibration, it turns on our reticular activating system because we're living from this place of goals. We're living from a place of goals. We're living in a place of a vibrant vision of things that we want and see for ourselves in the future. We're actively building our bridge. We're in it every single day. And when we do this, our reticular activating system is turned on, and suddenly the hows of how we're going to do it start to fill themselves in. Have you noticed that? It's incredible. This house is all a complete story about that. Everything about this I have seen in my life. Every time that I have done this and let go of the house and just get into the whole art and craft of noticing and been busy in my goals, the things start to put themselves into place. The old stuff that we do, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same thing. It won't change. Just because we want it to doesn't mean it will. Something has to be added to it. Something needs to be taken away and put in its place. That's just how that whole thing works. Albert Einstein said this: everything in life is vibration. Everything. Now, he was a physicist, right? I mean, this was a brilliant man, but he understood it was all about vibration. Tesla said something right along those lines too, talking about vibration and how it's all, that's entirely what the universe is vibration. That's the energy from which it flows. And so we see those results of vibration. We see it with waves, ocean waves. What do you think that's vibration right there? It's because of the vibration that we have those waves. We see it with an earthquake. That's a vibration and a half, right? Or even a volcano. We feel it. We see it. We even smell it. Food cooking. There's good. And do you know that fast food has a way low vibe? They've actually measured it versus like a fresh blueberry or fresh food, freshly laid eggs. Isn't that interesting? It's like, guess what? We've been told, and everything is measurable, and everything, like a rock, has like a grade of 5, whereas, a newborn baby is up to 700 or 1,000. I'll show you the thing in a minute, but isn't this so incredible? This stuff makes me vibrate. I'll tell you what, it's just amazing. So we know how it's measured. Everything has a vibe. We know that. I mean, your toenails have vibes. Your hair has a vibe. Today's hair has a vibe. My ponytail has a vibe. I wonder what the difference is. I have never measured them, but why not? Hey, Sarah. It is interesting. It's fantastic. And achievement has a high vibe. It has a high vibe, and it's measured. Non-achievement has a low vibe. So, that when you feel like a lump on a log sitting on your couch, there's a reason why. That's low vibe. But when you're up and you're doing and you're, you have different things. I mean, taking the dog for a walk is high vibe. For me, it feels high vibe because I always come back energized and feeling. You can feel the vibe. You can feel it. So the other thing that we have to look at is vibration, being energy. The positive part is high, the negative part is low, and repetition, right? It can be high or low. So repetition of good, healthy habits That's high vibe all the way. That's why you keep feeding it. That's where the dopamine comes from. All of this is one thing after the other feeding itself. Isn't it so cool? Whereas low vibe, not moving, not eating well, all of the stuff that makes you feel bad, it's telling you low vibe, babe. That's just all it is. It's low vibe. So to go from low to high, you have to start with where you are. Duh. Did you know that? And you know where we start? We got to start with what we think about, because what we think about, you've heard, what we think about, we bring about. Well, sometimes, but what we think about and what we do need to be in alignment. That's our alignment assignment forever, always, because we can think about all kinds of stuff and completely lose our way. And I'm going to share with you how I lost my way this weekend. So we live on this little tiny lake, and I always take Lincoln down to the berm and the lake, the boat launch, where I take a ball and we play, and he goes and swims and, comes in, and we run up and down the berm, and I get my exercise and he gets his too. And then he usually comes home and, sleeps about 2 hours. So I like him having this. When I went and looked yesterday at the berm, I just said, we're going to turn around and go the other way, because there's a bunch of little kids swimming. There were other dogs, and I just knew this was going to be a disaster. So I turned and went the other way. And we just didn't do that. So this was the afternoon walk. We had already done it in the morning. And when I was going by, we're meeting people along the way, and hey, I'm your new neighbor. Nice to meet you. This is Lincoln. And I am uber friendly, because I want to know these are my neighbors. I want to know them. I want them to know us. I want them to know Lincoln. This is what we want to do. Well, there's this one neighbor I'm walking by, and husband and wife, they're sitting there on their little dock, and they've got a gate, and they've got 2 dogs. And we're coming by, and I started saying, "Oh, Lincoln, look, 2 dogs." And I started slowing down, and I was like, "Hey," like just like this. And he looked at me and he went, "I'm serious." He might as well have flipped me off. I was like, "Okay." And, the dogs were barking and stuff. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I just passed him. And for me to go all the way around the lake means I have to get up and go up into the streets, go around, and it ends up being like a 3-mile walk. Too much for my little dog, who's hot and sweaty, and not sweaty, but panting. Not going to work. So I said, and as I'm turning around, I got down as far as I could go. And, he kept laying down. And I said, well, I got to turn around. And I thought, well, we'll just go as fast as we can by there. And so as soon as we started coming back, 15 minutes later, as soon as we started coming by, I'm not kidding you, he's looking at me. That was the face. And his wife said, "Are you kidding me again?" Just exactly like that. And in my head was, "Won't you be my neighbor?" I mean, I'm thinking I'm like the friendliest person here on this little teeny lake. We're all neighbors, and you're really going to be like this? Instead, if he could say, "Just keep going, the dogs, Oh, okay, no worries. I'm going to be back. So, just prepare." Just whatever. It's just an exchange. That's what people do on a higher vibe, right? But I'm going to tell you what, I took his vibe and I sunk it down to the bottom of Lake Winnetka, because I plotted how I was going to get back at this guy. I plotted. I was like, how dare he? What a jerk. What a blah, 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 blah. And oh, next time I see him, all these things were going in my head. So much so that I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about it. And then when I got up this morning, I was thinking, really? Is that what you want to do? Like, I was thinking I would have a party and invite everyone except them, And I thought, why do I want to sink to that level? Why do I want to go there? Why am I allowing that kind of, okay, you know what? Empathy says, all right, this is what empathy says. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're always like that. Okay. That's their choice, though. doesn't need to be mine. It doesn't need to be mine. I don't need to go there. So, so I let it go. And I thought, you know what? If we do have a party, I am going to invite them and I'm going to be so gracious. I am going to be so gracious and I'm going to completely let this go because you know why? That's on them. That's their toxic burden to carry of being that low vibe. And furthermore, if ever it ever comes up again or whatever, I'm just going to remind them that I'm just walking by and maybe it's your dogs you need to control, you know? It's just whatever. It's just, I don't need to play into their garbage. I don't need to say, oh, is your ship on its way to hell? Let me go with you. It's just sad that some people make a choice to live their lives like this. And what I did was I got sucked up in their choice and made a decision. You think it's bad now? Watch this. Hold my beer. Hold my earrings. I'm going in. And I'm going to tell you right now, absolutely 100% never, ever, ever would I do that. But I entertained it long and hard. I thought about it long and hard. I rehearsed in my head and I wanted to ask people questions. I wanted to say to my neighbors, watch out for these guys. They're jerks, But you know what? It's gone now. It's gone. And I saw him walking by my property today with his dogs. And I thought, well, let it go, Leanne. It's time to let it go. If I want to live a certain quality of life, I've got to let the quality of my thoughts take me to the right place. I can't get on that bus. That is a bus to nowhere. It's just full of toxic waste. And I don't want to swim in that pool. Just don't. I've been on a bus, a pool. I mean, who knows where I'm going with the next one. Margot says she's laughing so hard at my pettiness. I know, totally, right? Isn't it sad? Isn't it terrible? And I was just like, ooh. And then I was like, ooh, who are you, Leanne? Yuck. Petty, stupid, and so not where I want to go. So this is my neighbor. David Hawkins has this thing he calls it the map of consciousness. You can find this, I find this on Pinterest. But here it is right here. And you're going to see this in the newsletter tomorrow. But what he's talking about, and this guy's really interesting. David Hawkins is a psychiatrist. He's also spiritual and scientific. He's looped everything together, which I think is magnificent because, God made it all. So why not do that, right? But look at this. He's talking about right here, the energy frequency of enlightenment, peace, joy, love. And watch how it goes all the way down to fear, grief, and apathy. And on the bottom, I guess one didn't get printed, but on the very bottom is shame. Shame. And it has the energy frequency of like 30, like a rock. And it all attached to all these emotions, scorn, anxiety, all of this. And here, and I was playing in that pool. Boy, was I playing in that pool. So I thought about that and I thought, what is it that I need to do to get out of this rut? Because I don't want to play with this. I don't want this coming up in my head anymore. Because I had to acknowledge, first of all, exactly how I felt. I felt dismissed. I felt hurt. I'm not going to lie. Then I was ticked off, man. Like, who do you think you are? I'm the dinner diva. No, I'm just kidding. But, it was just, I wasn't used to that. Friendly Leanne with her happy 4-month-old Lincoln, who's the star of the show around here. And you're dismissing me like that? So I just letting it go. And I started to think about my thinking because that's number one for everyone. We have to think about our thinking. What are these thoughts reaping? What kind of seeds are we sowing here? More hate, more despair, more gotcha. Like, just, is this neighborly? Love your neighbor as yourself. That, and that hit me too. Even that guy. you know, boom. Okay, go away, go away. But, love your neighbor as yourself. That's a tough order. Two, you know what? You can create better thoughts. And do you know what the science tells us? It's a 5-to-1 ratio. 5-to-1. For every good one bad thought that you have, you need 5 to overcome them. 5 to overcome them. So you know what I thought about? I thought about this guy. He has a little bass boat, and he goes and he fishes all the time with his little dogs. And he gets fish and he gives them to the neighbors. And I thought, what a nice guy that is. Gotta think of something good. So I swapped out the evil that I thought of this guy and just how incredibly rude I thought he was for maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe somebody else had come before. Maybe. And hey, he gives people fish. He fishes all day and gives people fish. So create a better thought, because when we use that formula to combat these low vibes, and we're present and accountable really for this, that's when we start to think differently, because we don't want to be caught in the low vibe. We know what low vibe is, basically the emotional intelligence of a rock. It really is. Number 3 is your sad sack story. Okay, it's old, it's musty, especially if you're living in the victimhood eternal loop. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it spoken, where it's going to zap your energy, and no one wants to and you don't want to be hearing it in your head over and over again, because that over and over again in your head keeps you up at night, and also it's replacing and zapping and taking out the higher vibe that you want. The higher vibe, so that you live your life in a higher vibe way, in a way that's gentle and kind and empathetic and overcoming. We can't do that if we're sucked into this toxic garbage. And I'm telling you all of this. I'm sure I've disappointed a few of you. I disappointed me, to be quite honest with you. And I thought about that, and I thought, how could I do this? It reminded me of being a kid and prank calling people. It reminded me of just doing something I felt like, in sneaky and bad and wrong, because it was really. It is not serving anyone, especially not me. I can't do my best work if I'm going to be in that petty, toxic garbage slough. Am I? No. So, but we can't keep telling the story. I'm not going to tell that story again. I'm telling you the story to give you some background to where my mind went. And that's it. We're done with that story. If I ever reference it, it's only to reference that you can sink to some pretty low levels. It happens to all of us. And I apologize to you as well for, I feel like I let myself down. I feel like I let you down just by going there and spending that much time in there. I haven't done that in a very long time. But I also recognize too that you have to call out how you feel about this stuff. I felt really hurt. I felt dismissed. And I felt like, hey, you should be my friend. Hey, dude, I'm like the friendliest person on the planet. We'd love to have you over. I'll make you dinner even, So that kind of a thing. Dismissed without even given a chance. So we have to act in the highest way, what we can do instead of what we're doing. What can we do instead? And there's a way to do this. I have number 5 is your if-then chart. If this happens, if the guy across the lake does this again, then this is how I will respond. I can think it out and figure it out again. Because chances are I might have that situation happen again. You never know, People can be gruff with each other. People can be real jerks, So can I, as I proved to myself in my head. I didn't do any of these things, but I had the plan. Boy, it was good, Get through the why ladder too. Number 6, your why ladder. Why do you want to do this? Well, I want revenge. You want revenge, Leanne? That's so petty. Yeah, it is. Well, why do you really want to do this? Why? Why do you really want to do this? Well, I was hurt and I want to hurt him back. Why do you want to do that? Because I'm being petty, and it's time to dismiss that. And see, when you start you start asking yourself these kind of questions, I mean, I almost want to cry because I feel like such a schmuck. That's a schmuck way of dealing with things. That's low brow. That's low level all the way. And that is not befitting a child of God, a daughter of a king, somebody who put breath in my nostrils and put me here on purpose and for purpose. Does that fit? It does not. Number 7 is you got to meditate and visualize the good thoughts. And you know what you got to decorate with liberally? Gratitude. Gratitude for this situation. Gratitude for this situation. You know why? Because it brought out something really deep and ugly inside of me. And I believe that there's nothing that God can't redeem, number 1. But number 2, there's always something that we need to pluck out. There's always something that needs correction. There's always something. And when it comes and raises its ugly head like that, do we have the courage to step up and call it out? Do we? Because if we do, then we can meditate on good, kind, gracious, beautiful things. We can visualize these good thoughts and doing good to others. Even when we don't want to, doing it is serving God, I believe. Doing it is proving that the Holy Spirit is alive and well and is doing great acts of kindness. And we get to be the hands and feet. That's pretty amazing. And with gratitude, the gratitude that we get to overcome this ugliness, that's huge, because that's going to help us to grow. That's going to help us to grow. The Bible verse, of course, the Psalm, create in me a clean heart, came up. And I think, when I say when we want creating a clean heart, we want the slate wiped clean. We want to get rid of this stuff that's so dirty and low vibe and bringing us down and so awful. We need the gift of rethinking things. Can I rethink that? We don't get a do-over, but we do get a do-over with our thoughts. Our actions, no. Our thoughts, absolutely. Because at any point we can say, I need to rethink this. I need to rethink it in the same sense of the graciousness that God rethought me, right? We need to go from regret to repentance and from forgiveness to renewal. This is how we renew our hearts. Create in me a clean heart and renew a steadfast spirit within me. What do you think that all means? I mean, of course, he's talking about God and he's talking about repentance to God, but he's also talking about refreshing and renewing his previously polluted heart. And we're all polluted at some point. We all are. It's just the truth. We can be transformed by the renewing of our mind at any point with any decision. We can just say, help me to be transformed. Help me. Renew your thoughts when they're stale, they're old, they're toxic, and step up into this renewed spirit place. That's where the higher vibe is. Step up, because I'm going to tell you right now, and this is the truth. I felt this, and you know it. You can feel your higher self nudging you. When you are meditating on a daily basis and praying, spending your time in inspirational, maybe you're reading your Bible through the year or reading a book or whatever it is that you're doing. But when you are nurturing your higher self, your soul, and that connection with God, have you noticed this? There's a nudge saying, hey, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that person, do you? That's the nudge. That is the Holy Spirit, I believe, saying, knock, knock, low vibe, sister. Let's bring it up. Your higher self's nudging you. Listen to your heart. Listen to your knowing. Listen to your intuition. This is all connected, all God-given given to you by God. To step up, to be better, to love more. Because at the end of the day, what is there left except that we can love more? I have to say this. Not one of us has been left on this earth without the proper equipping. We're all equipped. The question is, are we going to use our equipment? Are we going to be willing to let go of this stuff and instead step into a much better, a much higher vibe way of living? Because if everything vibrates, then I don't know about you, I want to vibrate as close as I can to God, because that feels really good and clean. That feels beautiful in my heart. All this other toxic garbage, it just doesn't belong. If we're going to claim to be daughters of the King, then it's time for us to step royally up. This is how we change our lives, and we change the lives of others around us. And it's up to us to do. That's all I know. That's all I know. And I was glad to share my, my creepy story with you. Yep, human. What do you know? Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Tomorrow's Transformational Tip Tuesday. And believe me, it is still going to be about vibes. We're going to be talking about it. I appreciate you showing up. Thanks a lot for that. And if there's anything that we can do for you, don't forget, you can always send it an email into support@savingdinner.com. Pinky's up is right. And we will always help you out any way that we possibly can. That's how we roll. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, Pinky's up.